the Atreyu, like the artist. So I did just over 5.
Hello and welcome back to the Stammerer with me. I'm John, and this is blog number 3. So the last couple of weeks and months, the depression that I've had and has been quite intense, and you know, I've then gone back and spoken to the GP since the last time that we spoke, and you know, looking at everything, we've spoken about it, and the plan is to let me go another 2 weeks before I go and see them. But what it looks like, this is something called BPD. There are two things at play here. There's PTSD, post-traumatic stress, and something called BPD. It's borderline personality disorder. So, which could be an offshoot of the bipolar. But again, those are the kind of 3 things that we are looking at now. But it's going to take a couple of weeks to figure what this out. So I'm currently being looked at for PTSD and the BPD, and the bipolar may come out of that because that's similar to BPD, but again, that's something else. So what's that meant for me over the last couple of weeks? So I think the meds are starting to work. My sleep is still really off. It's really, I don't sleep till like 3 or 4 o'clock AM, and we've got kids. So what that means is every single morning I'm still asleep. So my other half has to, wake up with the kids. Then after, I'll be up about 10ish. I'm still only having about 6 to 7 hours sleep, but that's not good sleep. And then I'm up, then I'm able to do some stuff around the house. I still don't know what I do during the day. I don't tend to watch too much TV. I just don't really know what I do. A big part of me and a big part of my life and existence was built around sort of like exercise and the gym, and I've not gone back to gym now for a couple of weeks, but I've started to go out and run again, and I've done 2 runs, maybe 3 runs, and it's okay. It's not how it was before this episode, but I'm trying now to push it to try to wake up earlier. I'm now trying to do that, but it's hard with my sleep. So one of the difficulties, and this is probably a difficult thing to admit as well, is that with stuff like this, it's really important to have friends. And sadly, because of, I guess, over the years, and just because because of this thing now that I think I've always had, I don't really have a lot of friends, and I've always been okay with the company of myself, but it's sort of abundantly clear that I don't have friends which when you're 40 years old is, I don't have like a best friend like as it was. You can have your wife and you can have like your children and that kind of stuff, but I don't have anybody that I can just talk to on a guy level, or I just don't have it. It's really quite sad where I could do with just not being at home and just be out. But other than going to the gym or a run or walking the streets, which is me, I just don't really have any friends, and it's hard. It's to admit that I don't really have any friends. The siblings that I have, I don't speak to one of them because we had an argument, and then I don't speak to the other two, one because they're in Wales and the other one is always at work, and I don't really see them, and they're not really the type to be out, and so I don't, even from a sibling perspective, I'm not even close with them, so I don't even have those to talk to, and it's not like I don't make friends. I just don't know. I've always, I don't know. It's just something about me that I guess, and maybe I purposefully to kind of put a protective thing around myself as to not to get, I guess, hurt. I don't know what it is, but so on a time where I need people, and I do like people, the other half should always say to me that you don't like people, which is not true. I like being around people, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I like people, but people don't like me. I don't know, and that's the one thing. The other thing that I find hard is that I don't have friends, and for a long time I was always it's fine, but and the one time that I need people again, which I've never sort of had this, is that I've always yearned for somebody to just be just like, it's okay, just like me for me, just, and that's the one other thing that I guess I've never had, which tends to how I think about me, is that I've never just had anybody who likes me for me, or what I would like me for me. Then surely I'd have friends. I don't know. Is there something about me that I just don't know that I do? I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a tricky thing. I mean, I adore my children, and I've come to this thing now. I happily spend all of my time indoors. I'd happily spend all of my time with the kids and just being around the house, and that's not going to help this situation. And I just 40 years old with no friends is quite a sobering experience, especially at a time where I need people around me, just to help me try to get over this hump. And sort of to be to have an open chat, is a case of, I don't know what people's experiences of BPD or whatever else it is, or PTSD. And you know, me and my other half, she's trying to handle it in sort of her way, but she said something to me which is kind of making me think, because people don't necessarily know how to deal with people who are in this phase, and people who don't understand this is that this is not something that the things that I say or the things that I do are genuinely not. Because so if I say I don't like me, that's not then a plea for me to have another person, and I don't need people around me to say, oh, you're great, like you're amazing, because I find that uncomfortable. I find praise uncomfortable. I can't deal with praise. I find it really, really hard. So it's not a when I say I dislike me or things around me, I genuinely mean that. Like, it's not something where I'm looking for people to go, oh, you're good, you're fine. And again, I find that really uncomfortable. And perhaps this is why I push people away, because all I need is somebody to talk to. So there's this thing where I'll probably not let people get close. And the fact that I haven't let people get close means I don't have friends. Again, the friends thing. Because I don't need people who want to tell me these good things. I just need people who want to tell me or help me just get on with it. So for example, instead of trying to say, you're nice, you're good, blah blah blah. Well, I don't need that. The fact that there's a person there who wants to come to speak to me is enough. Or somebody wants to come out with me for a run, somebody wants to come out with me for a drink, or somebody that wants to do something with me. The validation piece for me in that, it doesn't need words. All it needs is for somebody to want to be around me for me. And that's why probably I love my children, is because they love you for you. They see all your faults, they see all your bad stuff, and they're still happy to see you. They still want to be around you, and and that's the sort of thing where that's all I need. I don't need, and I don't know if anyone else feels the same, where people just think that when you say this stuff, all you want to do is you want people to say, oh, you're great, you're amazing, blah, blah, blah. It's not that at all. It's having people who want to be around you for you, and you want to spend time with you for you. That's all I need. And that's why, I love spending time with the kids, because they just want to spend time with me. And, they are amazing little people who make me want to be okay. And nothing else makes me okay right now, really, other than my other half, who I can see why sometimes she doesn't want to be around me, but the fact that she is enough for me. And my children, who, despite me in this phase, they're just amazing, and I love them all more than anything. So this is now what I'm trying to really push myself, and understand what this is and get over this, and so if anybody feels the same way, or what experiences that you have, I'd love to know, because it will help me to understand this, and if you can like and you can subscribe, to push this out, to people. It would be amazing to hear from you as well. So thank you for listening to me talk some stuff and things, and